Hey, so just a quick preface. This is the first episode of a new monthly podcast I'll be doing, a sort of games club where I'll hopefully talk to a swath of different guests each time. I'm going to upload to the main YouTube channel here because I've already been putting up podcasty type content for a while at this point. I have an already established little audience, and I'm sure there are people who use YouTube for their podcasts instead of the other traditional places. But this will be available on those places too, specifically Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Castbox, and Radio Public. The link to the Spotify version is down in the description, as well as the Anchor, which is where links to the rest of the versions will be available. And with that out of the way, here is the show. Welcome, everyone, to the Games Etc. inaugural episode. That's what I'm going to be calling it. I'm sorry. It's not that great, right. But it's well, all I've got. And hopefully, I actually have not checked to see if that's been taken yet. So fingers crossed. But today, me and Kevin Bashington, a.k.a. Kbash, a.k.a. Morbius, are talking about 2015's Bloodborne, developed by FromSoftware in collaboration with Sony Computer Entertainment's Japan studio developers, and published by Sony on the PlayStation 4, where it languishes to this day. How are you doing, Kbash?
I mean, significantly worse after that. Jesus, that's psychic damage. Can I contextualize that like in 2 seconds for the audience?
But of course.
So hi, I'm a YouTuber, 100k subs, doesn't matter. But recently someone commissioned 3 Morbius images of me, and the artists all tweeted them at me, and I'm like, I didn't watch the film. I didn't keep up with the memes or the discourse, and I was getting them as I was playing Sekiro and wanting to die. So it was like compound psychic damage. I actually felt like dying, but I have been reborn, and that's what we're discussing. Actually, that's not really what we're discussing, but I'm gonna try not to turn this. For those of you who don't know, I screwed up the recording last time.
We both screwed up.
So we're back again. Zach's back with the return attack to talk about Bloodborne and not Sekiro as much this time.
Right. I mean, I thought we talked about it mostly before and after. I don't think we recorded a lot of it. Because before we recorded, I was like, let's get this out of the way. You're having a hard time.
Oh, man. And now I'm on New Game Plus and blowing through everything.
Exactly.
I'm having fun again.
Yeah.
I beat half the game in a day. It was crazy.
Dude, that feels so good. And I mean, it's like, yeah, you just have more health and knowledge, of course, but...
Yeah. I mean, those bosses, they don't fuck around.
No,
they will chunk you in 2 hits. It's screwed up.
But is, what's her name? The Lady Butterfly? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Is that, do you feel better about that fight now?
Actually, not much.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. I actually looked her up, but then I went on to do the Guardian Ape, and that one I knew every parry, and it was like, yes. Yeah. Oh my god.
No, yeah, the ape is I don't know if it's a wall, just because I looked up, like we talked about last time. I looked up tips and the good strategies to fight him. And so he wasn't a wall for me, but I could see that motherfucker just shitting on you literally. Yeah. He is so aggressive.
Oh, but since we're not talking about Sekiro,
sorry,
we got to talk about the real Chad game. I don't know. I'm not going to top that. My throat can't handle it. It's hoarse from screaming about Sekiro.
Oh, no, sorry.
Bloodborne's a fantastic game. What do you think about it?
I think it is good.
The game's nice. Oh, yeah. God.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
So last time, we talked about... I shouldn't just reference that we talked about everything last time, but
True.
It's hard not to. But yeah, I just want to say performance of the game, not great, but that's whatever. You get used to it. It's molasses. Right.
So I'm assuming, if you're listening to this, you've probably played Bloodborne, also because it's, a mega hit. And that's one of the resounding or lingering criticisms of the game naturally is that, what was it? That its frame rate is terrible. And I believe I brought up, or it was my understanding that the game couldn't properly function, but you mentioned that there was a fan who had fixed largely, not completely, had largely fixed it and got it running at 60 FPS. So Sony, are you
What are you
fucking kidding
doing?
me, dog? Like, this game is not a joke. It's a cultural landmark, and I'm not even quite sure. That's the thing. That's what I wanted to ask you actually during this.
Okay.
It's like, literally, what the hell? Why do we like Bloodborne so much? Because like we barely scraped. We just talked about it, and all the levels and weapons and bosses and stuff. But that doesn't really like paint the picture.
Yeah, because at the end you were talking about how like like it's greater than the sum of its parts, right? Like all
Yes.
these like there's like levels where you're like, I ran through it. There's some bosses where you're like, shut up. But like at the end of the day, like, oh, it's one of the greatest games ever
Well, and
made.
that's what's fascinating, right? I played all the Dark Souls games now, and I keep saying Bloodborne's my favorite.
Yeah.
And one of my friends is like, "Well, isn't that just because you like the Victorian aesthetic?" And I don't have a refutation to that. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
It is like I hate to, there's this sort of, maybe it's not discourse anymore, but like there's this sort of idea where it's like you shouldn't like a game for its graphics or like how it looks and stuff. It's like it should matter more about how it plays and like the systems and stuff. And it's like that's true, but like I personally find myself to be more focused on like how like my avatar plays in the world and how I interact with a lot of things. That's why like I'm making a video on Resi 4 and Village, and like I focus on the combat a lot because like that's what you do a lot of the time. Like that's how you interface with the world. And if it doesn't feel good, I'm not gonna like enjoy it, regardless of like exploration and like these things outside of how you like play the game and interact with it on like a very one-to-one level.
Yes.
So and Bloodborne just scratches all of the itches for that. Like just the game feel itself is fucking just incredible. Like I was saying last time, like there's the dodge, which I like the sidestepping. Like it feels like an anime character just like weaving in and out of these attacks from these giant fucking monsters and shit, which look badass. The beast designs are really good. And like the rally, which like forces you to be aggressive, which it makes me feel good. I feel good going in for more attacks and not fucking waiting at the sidelines for a combo to end.
For sure.
Fucking the parry's really good, and I can actually do it.
Right. Yeah, and that's all really important, in the lineage of Souls, like considering all the other games like 1 to 3 and Demons as well. Like you are, and it's not a, like people meme it up, but it's not a meme. Like you are excessively passive in those games, generally speaking, unless you're like on that Farron greatsword, like special abilities spam in DS3, which I did recently.
Oh
but, it was sweet. Because I just wanted cool looking footage, honestly, for my video.
Right.
But seriously, like there is no rally. There's rings that try to replicate that, but like at least in 3, but it's just not enough. And Bloodborne does have that, like, everything is very swift. Everything is very impactful. The sound effects are great. Like, just ripping into flesh. You really get it. Like,
and the blood, like, I mean, it's its namesake. But, like, the blood splatters in this game. And, like, especially at the time when you were covered in blood like that, like, how shiny you were, I was like, this is fucking incredible.
That's actually such a good point. Like, okay, so the original point was about aesthetics, right?
Yeah.
And I've often had that discourse where I'm like, yeah, game's ugly, but, like, you should love it for its mechanics. But it is immensely true that packaging, how something looks to someone, is almost like paramount in getting a sale. Like, like we can't pretend, we can't dance around that. There are kids in the West who will look at like The World Ends With You or Kingdom Hearts and be like, ugh, gross anime, and just never. And it's like that's a cultural divide, perhaps, but like it is partially a failure. It's why Kirby is sold angry in the West, even though that's stupid. Like packaging matters.
Yeah, right. Shit. And I mean, the cover of the art is pretty good on Bloodborne too. That's a good poster. But
but like specifically just like the way the aesthetics all mesh together. Like as you meant, blood on the cloak, moonlight, how you're like the weapon transformations are so satisfying, like shit like that. So much just works.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like especially compared to like Miyazaki's previous work, like Dark Souls 1, right? Like Dark Souls 1 is kind of like not a cool looking game. Like,
I totally agree.
which I think is that why it kept you away from it for a while, or
yes,
yeah,
like
right,
literally the Undead Burg. That entire first section is my favorite. Sorry, I guess second section, but it's my favorite part of the game because it looks like I don't know. It's a city. It looks like a place that's now inhabited by like a tragedy has happened in this place.
Yeah.
And I like that, but you move on to like shit under the ground that's just like cave and magma, garbage, like you can't fucking see in the
town. Sewer town.
2 FPS town.
Yeah, right.
Fucking,
that's not really a problem anymore. You can play it on PC.
Yeah, fine. I didn't because I'm stupid. It was really bad.
Wait, what version did you play?
I played
like
the
PS4?
original. No, the PS3 one.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Because I was like, I just finished Demon's Souls on original PS3 hardware. I'm gonna be a Puritan and go with the originals, and then I didn't because after one, I immediately shunted myself into Scholar of the Last Sin DS2 because it's 60 FPS and beautiful.
Right. Okay, so that's why you make a lot of comments about that. Wait, you made the video, right? That came out.
No.
Did that come out?
No.
Why am I thinking you said that? Maybe we were just talking about it.
We were talking about it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just imagined the video already. I'm like editing it in my head. I'm like, there's this audio. Here's
okay,
the footage that'll go over it.
Yeah, he screams here. He does a react to footage note in the script here. He does a weird kind of jarring camera segment here.
Right.
He can't write a script that doesn't involve some element of the world being spun into reality for no discernible reason, like it's nostalgia critic or something.
Right. I mean, those are brief moments, like jumping into the TV in the last video was great.
Yes, that TV still okay.
I was like, I could see you I knew what happened after you kind of catch yourself and you're like, okay, wait.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I could do spy maneuvers IRL because it was great. I didn't knock anything over or
you're
hurt
like
myself.
A cat.
Yeah, dude.
You're like a fucking cat, dude.
I even had to retake. Sorry, we're off script, but I had to retake the one scene where I jump over a garbage bin because I was clearing it, and I'm like, no, it's not funny if I clear it. I have to trip over.
That's just unless you shot from really far away and it's just no noise, just the audio of outside, and you just clear it. You're like, yes. It could work, but yeah, that's not as interesting. Not as dynamic of a shot.
I wonder what my neighbors think of me, man. Nothing.
Dude, you should. I don't know if you know this. I was naked in my backyard for shooting something. It was at night, but it was for the Shrek Retold. There's a 2-second segment where so sorry, whatever. I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
So in Shrek Retold, which is a full fan recreation of Shrek, there's B-roll in the swamp when Shrek comes back and all the fairy tale creatures are there, and it's just this shot of this old lady putting up clothing while these two kids are play fighting or whatever. So I had my two friends next to me play fighting, and then I'm naked hanging a weird shirt just for the fuck of it, I don't know, just to be a little blip in the movie where people are just excuse me, what was it? And I censor it, but
okay.
Yeah, they wouldn't let that on YouTube. But yeah, so I'm sure my neighbors think I'm fucking weird, or they
Puritan YouTube keeping down male bods. Celebrate all beauty, okay? Fuck.
I know.
Anyway,
I also had a ski mask on, an orange ski mask on for that problem.
That just makes it more uncanny.
Exactly.
Oh no.
So yeah, they were upset. No, I don't know if they knew. My mom almost came out and found, but thank God I dressed quickly.
Faceless beauty. Okay, wait. What the? Okay, never mind. I have so many questions.
I'll send you the clip. So we're talking about Dark Souls 1.
Okay.
And its aesthetics. So after Undead Burg, right? Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I think, what is it? The fortress, Sen's Fortress. I like Sen's Fortress. It's creepy and dark. I mean, the snake guys are a little funny, but that's whatever.
It's not all ugly. I just the visuals don't stick out as much. Except and Orlando, I get sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't come at me in the comments, please.
That's the only one that's striking. Everything else is kind
Yeah,
of like this, this could be Demon Souls. Like I don't know.
that's
Something
true.
about Bloodborne really sticks out.
Okay, so oh my god. So you and I were talking specifically about Resident Evil 4 and Bloodborne because it literally evokes and that was the first thing I thought when I played Bloodborne. Like you walk into the town square or whatever, there's a burning beast on a cross, and it's like, this is fucking Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
Is this a reference? Am I like, and that's my favorite game, and I'm pretty sure it's up there for you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn, like I feel culturally connected in this moment, which is weird because it can't be, or if it is, he doesn't have any connection to Resident Evil to my understanding. So
I don't think he didn't help make it, but I'm sure it feels, and I was talking about the design last time, like here, like they just fucking throw you into one of the hardest encounters in the game, like especially relative to your ability.
Yes.
It's like, here's 50 people. All right, fuck off, and especially when you're that new to Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And for us, it was our first kind of Souls experience. Like, we don't know that we could just run past it. Like, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah, no, that's such a thing with Souls games. What the fuck? Like, every time I come into a problem now, and the amount of times I ran past problems now in the Souls games, just like, I don't bother engaging with the level half the time.
Yeah.
But whatever, like, that's whatever to aesthetics. But the first time really is magical because you are like taking in all those details, and even though that's the thing, you're forced because you're playing honestly, right? So like you gotta kill everyone. You get to see every cranny of that fucking place.
Yeah.
So you not only become a master, you also like love it if you stick it out because now you know it. It's the same as Sekiro, where I'm like, I was miserable until game 2, and now I'm like, I know everything. This is awesome. Yeah. I don't have to waste time.
And it's sad that like. You need some pain to get there, I guess, and like
immense amounts.
Yeah, this gets into that territory of you got to play it right to enjoy it. You got to get good to enjoy it. You can't cheese your way through or whatever. But we don't need to get into that.
True. Oh, and that's the thing. Like, I don't want to like. Everyone knows maybe they don't. I don't like that mentality in the first place. Like, get good.
Yeah.
Can fuck off. And it's not like the games aren't trying to make themselves easier all the time anyway. Like, they do like allow you to just go back and grind and all that stuff, like increase things to your advantage.
Right, exactly.
And cheese honestly is valid if it gets you to the end of the game. Why is it bad? That's not my question. Like,
like if something like, for us, since we've played it so many times, like cheesing would just be unappealing. Like, it would just be like, why would I even attempt? Like, it's just, I'm gonna just fight the boss. I know how. But if you're first starting out and you're just not good enough to do that, like, you need all the help you can get.
Yeah.
And I mean, the game's got different ways of helping you. It might not be as good as like an Elden Ring or whatever in that regard, just because that game has so many ways of helping you. But
I think cheesing and all that shit is thematically appropriate too. Like, it's in a game at the end of the world, and you're basically the only hope in whatever game you're playing in the Souls series. Like, it makes sense that you're going to do whatever it takes to get through. Like, fuck honor, man. I'm trying to save the earth. Like,
there is no honor anymore. That died a long time ago, if it was even ever there.
Yeah. So, okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Those are the people who literally, I'm serious, are like, you can't Hadouken me 6 times in a row in Street Fighter. It's like, just jump. What the like life hack, bro? Like, the kids who are like, you're cheating because you picked X character. Like Smash Bros. Kazuya, like, everyone hates fighting him because it's like he breaks the game because he has invincibility frames or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And it's like every fucking person who's ever played competitive is like shit, like just cackling internally at this shit behavior. Or maybe that's not true. Some people hate Kazuya still. Now we're double off topic.
That's
okay.
But Bloodborne. Bloodborne just is a great package. I don't know, the Victorian aesthetic, the specific game feel, the mix of like werewolf, just like not all horror, but like you've got the Lovecraft, you got the Bram Stoker in there. Like, it just like, people haven't done it to such a high fidelity and with such a amount of grace in its
that's
gameplay
true
and stuff.
Like, a lot of horror media, I guess, tends tropey anyway, but it's like this feels like a cultural mishmash, and it's from Japan, so it's like it reminds me of that one Mr. Beatung essay from forever ago on The Witcher and how diversity or whatever.
Huh.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's been a while since I watched this stuff, but yeah.
He was saying that that's like an asset that like people from overseas will literally like I think can like spin media or whatever in an interesting way, and it's like that it really puts fresh eyes on these concepts. And again, at high fidelity AAA game, it's amazing. Like it just feels like nice to experience. To have these things that are familiar. Game. To have these things packaged in a night with a nice bow on top, and I can unravel it.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. But actually, because we're talking about aesthetics, but also the levels. Yeah. Am I allowed to segue into level design briefly or whatever? Oh, yeah. Is that a tangent? Because like one thing I was thinking about, because we last time, and I've recently been watching tier lists of the ranks of the levels or whatever.
Oh, really?
Like how people think of the levels, and I was going through them like, I do fucking hate most of these. It's like, wait, this game's on my number 2 spot. But I was thinking again, like the game kind of encourages you not only to master it if you're playing it honestly, like and you're dying a lot, and so you know the ins and outs of the levels. It also encourages you to go more than one way in any given position. Not all the time, but Bloodborne isn't like inherently linear. And I'll bring up like 2 spots that I'm thinking of particularly. There's a part where you go down some stairs and fight the guys with the spears in Yharnam. It's near the hunter with the crow hunter for the first time. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Eileen, you're saying?
Yes. So in that area, like you can just go down the stairs honestly and fight a guy, or you can be like, I want to get the drop on someone. So you go like through the window to the side, and then you can like get down behind some people or crawl on the rafters and shit. And it's like, that's just so cool that there's like just 2 options there. I know that's like, it's such a small thing, but the game is often offering more than one path at any given time. Yeah. And this is repeated. Like we go to like the Forgotten Woods or whatever. Is that what it's called? I don't. That's all the woods Forbidden. Are forgotten. Forbidden. That's it. Yeah. And right away, there's a part where you can go down and get like ambushed by like all these dudes and like a dog and his handler. Yeah. But you can also just go off to the side. Yeah. And either ignore it entirely or strike from behind and take out the dog or whatever. And it's like that is beautiful. Like you can. And it's important for the themes of the game. You're playing as a hunter, someone who's literally like there to kill beasts or whatever. Like this is not like, I'm not ironclad. I'm not like I don't have a giant claymore. I'm rolling. Well, sometimes, but I'm walking up behind someone so I can stab them in the back and fucking kill them. Yeah. Good. Great gameplay. And it's not that other Souls games don't do that, but there are many more moments I find in Bloodborne where like the environment is catering to that kind of play. Thoughts, questions?
I'm trying to think of other examples. I feel like maybe the late game drops that a little bit.
Yes, Murgo's Loft is very linear, I would say.
Yeah, right. Like what? I mean, you just
Nightmare Frontier.
You're just kind of run. I mean, there's like different ways to go, but like, where does that lead you? The poison area, and you're just fighting like little fucking squid monsters and shit.
Well, and that's the problem in it. Because I feel like the best levels of the game are like Yharnam, and I hate to say the Forbidden Woods, but I think that's one of them. Yeah. And so many of the other levels.
I think the giant snake balls are really the problem here.
Yeah, yes,
they're just so strong, and they shoot poison at you. It's just
I have a problem with that. but seriously, so many of the other levels are like, why the fuck? Like, it's either the regenning enemies or the giant laser beams. Whatever. Oh, I will.
At least the generating enemies, you have to like find the source of it and take it out. Right. It's kind of interesting, but there's not like different paths or whatever. Really, there's the one place to get the key to the choir area, but that's not like a big detour or anything.
And I feel like, oh fuck! It literally exited my head as I opened my mouth. Oh no. Anyway, I feel nothing, actually. I'm dead inside.
Level design, Forbidden Woods, what were we talking about?
There's another level that's actually... Old Yharnam is quite good, I thought.
Yeah, right.
But that one is also
that pressure and like...
Yes. So there's a quirk, but it's not a pain in the ass to an immense degree.
Yeah.
Like at least poison shit and like the brain of Mensis nonsense. Like it's one of those quirks that's actually like, I can handle this.
Yeah. And
for sure.
I mean, the brain of Mensis is just always hurting you, whereas
That's true.
the bullets you can dodge, and like you have to worry about the explosive like barrels in that one area, and you're trying to fight while you're getting shot at. Like that's more interesting than just like, oh, you're going to die in 3 seconds if you don't leave.
And like, don't get me wrong, like there's some thematic coolness to the brain of Mensis.
Yeah.
If we're comparing it to the Gatling gun, right? Where it's like the Gatling gun is like a low level, like, okay, this guy's literally fucking shooting me. I can deal, like, I get this. But then as especially in Mensis, when you get progressively into the mental nightmare of Bloodborne, and then there's like brain power annihilating you, and it's like invisible. It's like, so that's kind of interesting, right? Like we move from the mundane world to the the super world.
Yeah.
And it can kill you without even a bullet. Yeah,
right. Just
that's fascinating.
It drives you insane.
Yeah. So even though I kind of personally do dislike, Brain of Mensis and all that shit, it's like at least there's an arc here presented in the gameplay. Man, we have way better analysis today than last time.
Yeah, right. Shit. We need to do 2 episodes every time.
Oh man.
The practice and the full.
That's right.
No, yeah, I never really, until we talked about it last time, and now, like I didn't really think about how there's these 2 levels where there's this like present, far away antagonist that you have to like run away from, and it's like this, like an arc sort of.
In a way, I will say I am partially talking out my ass here. I literally just invented that, but I hope it's a decent critique.
I mean, it's a connection. Like these are 2 like things in terms of gameplay, and I will say Jura narratively has a reason for attacking you, right? Like he's protecting this place. He believes beasts to be people who just are like sick or whatever. Their beasthood is manifested or whatever. I wish they kind of went into that more. Just because like,
oh my god,
they never not aggro you. Like they will just kill you regardless. So that's what's bummer, but
like. We were talking about lore last time and how I know basically nothing because I just don't pay attention to it anymore. I did when I first, and then I forgot it all after reading the Pale Blood Hunt and everything. But like that was one of those moments where I didn't even piece together how hated like you are and your station is. Like the fact that like the hunters, like everyone is an asshole to you, and I was like, oh, they're just insane. And it's like, no, there are tangible lore reasons for why they are afraid of you. Yeah. And it's actually a great act of trust that any of them like will listen to what you say. And that's why the one dude is like, I know all your tricks. I'm going to go to the other place. And you don't know that if you don't look up the lore or like pay attention to the text in game.
Right.
Dear God.
No. Yeah. Like the healing church employed hunters, right? Like presumably, and like, they would like,
well, they did preventative measures. Like if they would like snuff out anything,
anyone that seemed
even
to be
suspect.
Like beastly.
Yeah
Right. Yeah, that's I think that's on the hunter, black church hunter garb, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably. I don't know.
Which item is that on? Which esoteric fucking
I know.
item?
Oh my god. So fuck, like there's so much nice oh fuck, I said the cursed word. There's so much little stuff you can pick up off just items in game. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Do you like this style of storytelling? That's something I wanted to ask last time that we didn't really get to. Like, do you appreciate how the story is told in this game as someone who likes narrative?
Well, yeah, actually, as a point of fact, yes, but partially it's less to do with how it's told being good or bad, but rather that Souls games writ large are kind of subversive in the gaming space. Like I watched Elden Ring pop off, and I watched a lot of people, I think, unless I'm wrong about this, but I was seeing tweets that were like, game devs in like Ubisoft or whatever, I think, pissed that like Elden Ring was doing so well with all the like issues in the game, like UI stuff and whatever, like the imperfections and the stumbling blocks. And it's like, yeah, Souls games don't optimize for the player to enter them. That's like, it's just how the games are. And that's not a good point of design, but it is worth noting in a landscape, a market, filled to the brim with slop. Like not to say Assassin's Creed is slop, but like stuff that's so like, I know exactly how this is going to fucking go. And like a million pop-ups, bullshit, just like endless, like whatever the fuck Assassin's Creed is trying to do these days, more or less.
Yeah.
It's just like it's such a breath of fresh air to play them, the Souls games, because they feel like nothing else on the market. Like they are trying to kill you. They will actively try to kill you. They will obfuscate information and make you engage with it in a new way. Read on your own terms. Like that's really kind of fascinating because no one else. And so I appreciate it in purely in what's it called? Comparison to the others. Okay. I get what the market is doing.
Right.
Also, it's kind of neat because if you read up, if you do your own work, you get rewarded for it. That's cool too.
Yeah, and it doesn't force it upon you. Like that's a nice thing. Like
yes,
I don't know, when I think of like if we're gonna go Assassin's Creed, like there's just lots of pop-ups, and I'm sure like when I think of this is how long it's been since I played an Assassin's Creed game, but like Assassin's Creed 2, it's like you could read about, it's like a big pop-up. You want to read about the Vatican? And you're like, calm down, fucking. Okay.
I'm not sure about that. Like, what the fuck?
I feel like you could read about all the landmarks and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, which is cool. Like those games almost are like museums in a way, like digital museums. So there is some good on you, Ubisoft, for doing that. But
fair enough. I did not think about that part actually. Yeah, there's like a public good there.
Yeah, the new ones have like sort of a free roam mode where they just like give you info. Like it's almost like a museum experience where it's like, go up here and press the button and we'll tell you about the Egyptian I don't know, weaving or whatever.
I was seeing that in relation to like history students or something about the Egyptian one. That's fascinating.
Mm-hmm. So good on them. Not wholly bad.
I'm just like licking my lips. Like I can't wait to talk about controversies. Let's not.
No, but yeah, the storytelling is just I don't know. Maybe it could be a little easier to get people in, but I think it's just part of the intrigue of the thing. Like
yes,
it's cool. Like I don't know. When I was a kid, like I probably had like conspiratorial brain. It's just like learning about like these dark stories underneath something, and I think this kind of unlocks that a little bit as an adult. Yes. Like a lot of things don't have that kind of story. You're just like, oh, they just tell you it, and you're like, okay, this is good or this is bad. But this you get to like uncover like, wait, what? Those things are connected? What?
And you, it works thematically with the entire work in the first place. Like a hunter is not expected to question things, right? Like you're supposed to go out and kill people you don't know, even without a reason, like who might have the beast plague or whatever. And it's like, that's so like a story that doesn't even demand of you to question things. Now this is true of the other Souls games too. So like, let me not like get too high up my own ass, but like that is really
Bloodborne
interesting.
Is part of the lineage of, I mean, one, Demon Souls and 1, and I guess 2 kind of, but not because that was sort of separate. But I guess Demon Souls, I don't know the narrative well enough to say, but like Dark Souls 1, you're this agent of like this faction that you kind of just like here, like it created mythology in order to enact political violence, basically. Like you are a chosen undead, go and ring the bells and light the fire or whatever. It's like
bells, bro.
Yeah, just because Gwyn or whatever his faction is just like, we want to keep the power, basically. And like Bloodborne, it's kind of a little more complicated and unsure, but like you are a hunter, which already colloquially is this group of people who are just working for a church or I guess the church. I don't know if Bergenworth has hunters, whatever. We don't need to get into the weeds there.
Oh, I forgot.
And then you are also a hunter, a specific hunter working for the moon presence, maybe? The cosmic beings? You are like in this nightmare contract to kill other beings. So like there's even more levels to it where you're like, I'll kill, and if it says the nightmare slain, I guess I'm done.
Yeah.
I'll just keep going. But yeah, and like I said last time, Gehrman is like, just go out and kill a few beasts. It's good for you. It's just like, you're just supposed to. And like, I think the aesthetics work into that, right? Like it feels so good to just murder, and you want to, regardless of what it says about what you're doing or whatever.
Yeah, dude, that fucking visceral attack is like when you land a headshot in Resident Evil 4, dude, the first time. Like, holy shit. like
when you like pop a head or whatever.
Yeah. Holy shit.
When you like rip someone's prostate out of their asshole,
Yes.
like, it's just there's nothing quite like, and the explosion and the sound effect. God damn, they got it right, and I don't think they'll ever do it better again, unless they make a Bloodborne 2.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, even playing Sekiro, I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not like, yeah, stab the monkey, do it. I'm like, oh, don't do that. Or like, this was expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those kills are like I don't know why it feels different, but like
there's something so fucked about like lifting a monkey's arm up so you can jam his sword in his rib cage. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right. You just mercilessly kill like a fucking like pigeon or whatever.
Yeah.
You'll just like roll with it and like slit its throat and like throw it up and cut it in half and eat it.
Throw it in the air, do 10,000 fucking slices, and I teleport behind it, and it ends in tiny chunks on the ground.
Right, and then you
I'm
eat
like,
it.
I guess there was no other way to handle this situation.
Exactly.
There was just no reasoning with him. I love that. Fucking, how about rogue gameplay? That's
rogue
not true.
gameplay.
So there's no stealth option, and backstabs don't work like they used to. Sorry. There's no proper like, I'm crouching now. Okay, guys.
It's the walk, I guess. Like that is the silent mode, right?
Yeah, and you don't walk up and like immediately stab someone in the back. You're literally like, you have to charge up, and then you can stagger them, and then you can visceral attack them.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with that? What's up with that? That's weird. That's a weird thing.
I mean, I think it's I'm trying to think of like moments where stealth, I guess like the
I would never many.
Yeah. The Forbidden Woods, I mean, you just run around and then run out of the way. Like you're not trying to sneak past that kind of thing. I don't know if there's a lot of spots that really reward stealth like that.
Yeah. I think like that one dude banging on the door, the big dude at the start of the game.
You can't even like sneak up on him though.
You can if you have a long enough weapon.
Okay.
If you do the big
you got
lunge,
the hunter's axe.
Yeah. Or I mean, even Ludwig's if you stab him, I think, but you have to like time it really well. So actually, you know what? You're right. There's not a lot of rogue gameplay going on. I have to look into this for the other games because Sekiro does it like all the time.
Yeah,
like,
right. That one's like unique, especially because when you're in the large encounters, it's trying to like whittle down the numbers so you have better odds. Because like parrying 4 dudes' swords is not possible at one time.
Yeah,
you're better off one-on-one.
So they didn't lean into that style of play for Bloodborne. It's how do I say this? Like often enemies are aware of you.
Yeah,
but you're not a tank. So what does that make you, like a fighter, a scrapper? Because like you're mostly like weaving in and out of shit. Like that's such an interesting fantasy. Because like you can't put a class on that dude, like the main character or whoever you play. Like unless you're playing a mage or something.
I mean, he doesn't. The weapon types kind of like when you have like a Kirkhammer, it's like you're just going in and staggering the. I mean, like stagger is always important, but
true.
Kirkhammer like big. Like damage and then big rally. I think that's kind of what you have to consider is like how does the rally work for a certain character? Like the bigger weapons I think give you bigger payouts immediately, whereas like a small weapon you have to like kind of keep going in. And
that's a good point. Some fucking weapons just have garbage rally. Like
yeah,
I don't even know if we're off topic or not, but like we talked about this I think last time that like we had done different weapon runs and like all the weapons that we had used for different play, and this time stupidly I tried the beast cutter and had to switch to the whirligig saw by late game because it just sucked. The beast cutter is a small weapon, it's a one-handed weapon, but its rally is shit in every form. It's just bad. Like you almost don't get to rely on rally using it, and it's slower than other one-handed weapon. Like
it's the whip slash like
I
don't know what to call it, like just machete. What I don't know. Is it the whip too?
Yeah, it turns into a whip. I used it predominantly as a club for the whole game because like the whip
is so fucking slow. Like
it doesn't.
I appreciate
do its
when
job.
I fight against it, but
yeah. Its only job in the whip that's like consistent is fighting hunters because it'll pancake them in 2 hits like consistently, and it's not an issue. Like every hunter in the game goes down to beast cutter form 2, but except for the magic ones, they're a pain. But
okay.
Anyway, but yeah, rally is impacted by your weapon, man. We already talked about that shit too. How weapons totally change your style, like how the game goes for you, if it's gonna suck ass or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but you can do it. Like
yes.
The cane, which was my first weapon, and I beat the whole game with it. Like, it was a pain in the ass, but like,
wait, you beat the whole game with the fucking cane?
I killed every boss with the cane.
I am so sorry.
I mean, I'm stronger now. Like,
I guess. Well, you know what? Your skill was high, so you were dealing immense visceral damage, also. So
yeah, that's true. The parry. I kind of had to rely on, especially in like the late game, especially the DLC, right, with the Maria and with an orphan.
That's the
which
other
I would
thing
do anyway, but
like how much parrying is relevant to you also, man. We are in a fucking web of concepts here. Holy god. Okay, we gotta pick one.
I mean, fuck. Freaking, weapons, I guess. Okay. Well, rallying.
Yeah, builds. Combat writ large into weapons, into builds, or into builds into weapons.
Yeah.
So we mentioned. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, you're good. I had nothing really good
to
say.
Combat. How do I say this? Oh, fuck. Bloodborne. When it's like, why the hell is Bloodborne so good? I feel like half the reason has to be combat. Probably because it's like much more visceral wink than the other games in general. Like there's a lot more like like the rhythm is really good until you play Sekiro, I guess, then the rhythm, whatever,
yeah.
But like, you know, Dark Souls, it's true, you just kind of like screw around, wait, guard, and then attack, unless you're playing a specialized build or something. You're probably being really passive, but Bloodborne's beautiful because it's fast, it's aggressive, it rewards you with rally, aka healing up your recently dealt damage for landing hits immediately. Like, it just, like, there's such a visceral power in like getting hit and then getting a swift reprisal and like, fuck you, and getting rewarded for that. Like actually rewarded. And because most of the Souls games tell you to back off. Like, no. Like a fighting game. There's a concept in fighting games where you can get like mentally locked on landing a certain move you want to land. Oh, and this is like a stumbling block for new players where like, but I really want to land my sweet fucking spin kick. And it's like, no, if you keep doing that, the enemy knows you're doing it now and you're never going to land it and you're going to lose. And this happens in Dark Souls where like, if you keep attacking after you get hit, you're going to die. So you have to be more mature about it and back off. Bloodborne lets you swim in that a bit though. It lets you get a little angry. I actually really appreciate that.
Yeah. There's like some bosses that I think don't lend themselves well to the rally, like
admittedly yes.
Yeah, like an amygdala, just like amygdala, and probably I would say the tall bosses, because if you don't have the right weapon, like you can't get hits in, you know, you can't get your health back. And like amygdala especially, like you can't hit their feet, they're not going to give you any like health back for that really. It's all about the hands, and those are really high up. Actually, and maybe Dark Peace Parl, but that's its own thing.
Like points, by the way, to the dev for that, for amygdala specifically, because so this is a game dev thing that the guy who did Dragon's Dogma, was just talking about, or has talked about in the past, where like that game Dragon's Dogma is so cool because like killing monsters in most games, big monsters, you're just swinging at their feet, and that's really fucking lame. So in that game you're like crawling all over them and like chopping their heads and shit. Meanwhile in Bloodborne, at least because it doesn't have that kind of mechanical like weirdness, amygdala isn't rewarding you for hitting its feet. You have to like deal with the big parts. And that's, I think, like Parl, his weakness is on his head. So, and I'm trying to think of others, but like Cleric Beast, for example, you want to shoot the head if you can to like double him over. Like there's reward in other places. They've how do I say this? You can see what the devs were thinking by what behaviors they were rewarding players for doing. So I approve of. I really appreciate that shit too. There's just a lot of little shit about this game that makes it so fucking good. Like, wow. Just like verbalizing it, I'm like, holy crap.
It's just the macro that kind of gets in the way, right?
Yeah, that's true. So, okay, we talked about combat. Do you have any other thoughts about combat before we move into like builds and weapons and stuff? About why it's so good? Because I think we got it pretty good.
Yeah, no.
But what about transitioning weapons and stuff?
Like the transformations, or?
Yeah.
They're good. I really wish I was like cool enough to like use transformations. Like I know I know
what you
beast
mean.
cleaver is like wait, do you mean transitions as in changing weapons mid-game?
No, I just meant in general,
literal.
like having 2 movesets on every move, which is kind of true of Souls, but not as much.
No, yeah. No, I mean, one, they got to condense the number of weapons so you like have better choices.
High utility.
Right, exactly. Like, I mean, say what you will about the cane, but at least it's like half a sword, which is like a good quick attack, and then it's also a whip. So I was able to like do group control, crowd control, and fight like an amygdala whose head was above me, like that was able to reach and stuff. So like that worked out for me. Yeah,
like there's a lot of weapons that suck in this game, but not too many. And the ones that suck are the super specialized ones, like fucking how do I say that? Like the Rider Palace, or however you say that.
Is that like the gun sword?
Yeah, because it's just a garbagey little like piercing rapier in a game that wants you to be like sawing flesh. So it's like
exactly.
like often enemy types they don't care. Stake Driver's the one that sucks. Like unless you're a god.
I guess what I would use the stake driver for is like I would have a main weapon and then I'd switch quickly and do like a visceral attack on someone to do like massive damage or whatever.
That's understandable too. The fact that I guess they all have uses ultimately.
Right.
Oh, and the cause parasite is super specialized too.
Right. As we said, like you have to beat the game to even attempt to use it. you know? That's not a new game weapon. And then you have to level into it throughout that entire playthrough where you're not using it to then use it.
I think the only other than that, the only true like this fucking sucks and everyone knows it is the boom hammer, because to get it to work you have to hit a button to prime it, and then it like does a like a fire attack or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's literally just Jury in Street Fighter V. Okay, sorry for the Street Fighter analogies again. In 4, that character worked because she just was a character out of the box. All her moves did their move. In 5, they made it so you had to prime every one of her special moves with a shitty special move that's like a little up kick. And you can work it into combos. So the point was like you would land a combo, shitty up attack, and then in the next combo you could do a better version of it, but then it was spent and you had to go on.
Yeah.
That's the boom hammer. And it's like, why the fuck did you do this? I want to make dudes pop, like blow up. Why? Come on.
What is what is the priming? Is it like you press L1 and then it...
Yeah, and then it's like charged up.
It's on fire. Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't like the Tonitrus then, or...
I mean, I have not played with the Tonitrus, admittedly.
Okay.
I'm assuming it does the same thing.
Yeah, it's like you'll like swing it and it's like more... It does more electric damage or whatever.
Points to the Tonitrus. It's a faster weapon in a game that rewards being fast.
Right, exactly.
It also has some really niche uses like ramen stuff. Like
I was gonna say like it has. Yeah, there are the electric, the weak enemies, especially because you can get the Tonitrus before ROM, so like that's nice. Whereas the boom hammer you get in DLC, where I don't even know what would be weak against fire except for the beasts in that area.
Right, exactly. Like you have to go out of your way for it, and then the reward isn't even that great.
Yeah.
Unlike shit like the Rakuyo, which you have to go super out of your way for, but it's fucking god tier, like amazing weapon.
Is that you have to kill the shark man, the fucking...
Oh, you have to go to the bottom of that well, yeah.
Fuck those dudes.
They're awful.
That's a boss encounter in and of itself.
Yeah. What the fuck? That charge attack, like...
Oh, it's so
PTSD,
evil. Yeah, and there's 2.
Yeah.
That's where stealth actually comes in handy. You can like sneak up on the one and try and get a visceral on his ass if you got a long enough weapon. Like the first one when you come down, you can walk behind him. Doesn't work most of the time. But yeah, I just in terms of transformations and stuff, I wish I incorporated the actual transformation attacks. Like when you press L1 during a combo, like I wish I was good enough to look cool doing it, but I'm sure there are, like I said, the Beast Cleaver I think has like a really good one that I've seen people use where it's like they're kind of like really quickly like slashing people with that, but otherwise I don't know if other weapons have like great utility with it.
Like, okay, so there's like value to it. Like, okay, a combo master would know if you played the game a lot, I guess you would know. But like most players aren't going to bother with them purely because, how do I say that? Like it's tacked onto a really lengthy animation in a game that wants you dodging between every other hit, kind of, or has you dodging every like 2 hits or something. Like, so like, oh my God, if you whirligig saw, actually that's a good example of one. If you're on just like the little whappy stick, you can be whapping some dudes and then like someone's coming around the corner or like coming down the road and you're like, all right, L1 mid combo. Should I stuck the thing on and did a jab and it got them? Like there are uses and you have to know them. So I don't know. I've not stuck with a weapon long enough because I switch to a new one every playthrough and I've only played, I think, 4 times.
Yeah.
But at least the weapons have that level of depth where you don't need that to even like beat the game. That's good.
But it helps, and it's probably PvP, like good
for sure.
in PvP, like like they could do this like hidden combo whenever they want, or not hidden, but it's just like they could switch between, and they'll do some random stuff that I couldn't even not foresee, but like especially with the whirligig, like that kind of attack would be
big old jab. It'd be devastating. Sorry, I can't do my accent because my voice is all fucked.
You're good. I'll do it.
You should have heard me shrieking at fucking Ishin or whatever his name is.
Oh God!
What the fuck? Scream.
Yeah. And have you fought the what is he called? The big red demon boy? Are you gonna fight him?
I did a fun thing where I cheesed him off a cliff and I didn't feel even an ounce of pain or shame. I was like, yeah, this is right, actually. No, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. I'm good.
Narratively, this makes sense because you want him to fall off a cliff.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
I might fight him fairly on round 2, but I don't think so because New Game Plus is not nice about the damage. It's not.
Yeah.
So
you might have should have done it before, if anything.
Yeah, honestly. I literally got through 1 life the first time and I was like, never again. I'm not even dealing with this. I refuse. No, though it was weird that he was a Bloodborne boss in a fucking Sekiro.
Exactly. No, I know. That might have been the hardest boss for me, probably. I mean, Ishin is up there, but I mean, at least you
can cheese Ishin, or sorry, at least you can run away from Ishin in his
and
form
take a
2
second.
and 3. Yeah. Well, not only that, you can literally win the game by running away from him the entire time.
What?
On stage 3 and 4, you just run around him in a giant circle the entire length of the arena, and every time he does a jump attack and then a follow-up swoosh attack or whatever,
he could, like,
you just run off. You like arc around and then hit him with a little attack, and you can kill him with damage. It's really slow. It's really lame, but it worked.
You did that?
Yeah, because I was so mad. It was like 6 a.m. My cat woke me up, and I'm like, I can't fucking beat this stupid game, and then I did. God, I was in a state like yesterday morning, dude.
Oh, that was just yesterday. Shit.
Yeah. It didn't feel like, it feels like lost to time now.
Yeah.
It was like a moment. Like every moment is a moment in the woods. I'm not quoting musicals right now. I'll shut up. Fucking.
Was that Into the Woods or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I apologize.
You're good.
So we were on weapons.
Do you have other thoughts on the weapons?
I guess we mentioned it briefly, but like the game massively rewards skill build, like just because you increase, like the amount of damage you do on a pure dex build is insane on a visceral attack.
Yeah.
And we also talked last time about parrying being better than in the Souls games because there's an element of forgiveness to it. Like you can do it at range.
Yes.
And then no big deal. Instead of I'm in the guy's face, I miss. Dead
well, no, you get half damage because you did the half parry, so it's good. So it helped. You blocked a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, I think the Dark Souls parry is useful. Like, I feel like they could maybe make, if they built a game more around it, it would be more interesting. But because those games have so many options, they can't like make it like your one only option. And not that Bloodborne forces you to parry, though there are bosses that like a gas coin, like
you need to
fucking like that's probably, I feel like people say that's a teaching moment for the parry, right? I feel like that's kind of consensus. Yeah, so
if I can be honest, I didn't parry almost anything on this last playthrough except Gascoigne, and that sounds really fucking weird because skill is my favorite build.
Yeah.
Chikage and Rakuyo are my favorite weapons, I think. I love parrying. I almost didn't do it because the beast cutter sucks. It's like, it's just like, because you don't get hardly any extra damage on a visceral. You're just like, oh, I have to do strength because I'm a lame strength character. So I guess I'll just bash them to death.
I mean, if you're gonna do strength, use a good strength weapon. I don't know.
Seriously,
use the
Whirligig
Kirk
Saw.
hammer.
Yeah.
Oh, is the Whirligig Saw strength?
Yes, it's actually the only one I think with S scaling.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
Wait, I might be stupid if I said. I think only it. Am I wrong? It's got insane strength scaling.
I mean, Ludwig probably would have S scaling, right? Or maybe it's just A.
I actually think it's a quality weapon and they're not even that good. If that
Okay.
makes it. It's just a really good ass weapon.
Yeah.
The Kirk hammer has high scaling.
Okay.
Higher than Ludwig. That's interesting. I'm looking at all this right now.
Yeah, you're looking at the wiki.
I wanted to play the Bloodletter, but I never did.
The Bloodletter. What is that?
It's the Blood Hammer basically in the DLC.
Oh,
or a
yeah,
mace.
That one like NPC comes at you with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's my forever chase weapon because I'm never gonna fucking pick it up. I don't want to build strength blood tinge. Like that's just fucking
exactly.
bizarre. Like what?
I've never in my life added levels to my blood tinge.
Ooh, dude. Let me tell you, if
Well, because you did Raku. Yeah, right.
Chikage feels so good.
Yeah.
With like it's just you eat everyone alive.
Yeah.
They die.
Okay, so that's the one exception that that's the thing though. I have to beat the game. I have to go to the DLC and fucking yeah. How do you get that?
Chikage. I don't remember even where you get it. No, it can be purchased from Kane. After obtaining the Canehurst. No, the Canehurst badge. So you have to kill the bloody crow of Canehurst. That's it.
Oh.
Do you know where that is?
Yeah, I know. Where fucking bloody crow of Canehurst is. You kidding me?
I like how he's just a boss. That's fucking hilarious.
He is. He's harder than any boss. Like, I'm not gonna fight him.
I beat him on a whim this time, and I think it's because I pancaked him.
Okay.
So the Beast Cutter actually had a genuine utility moment where I was like, I did something. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was trying to use the Breedis, like Call of a Breedis, right?
The auger.
The auger. Thank you.
The slug.
The slug that like shoots out the tentacles out of your hands, because that will like throw hunters pretty good. But it did not really work on him because he just parried me and shit.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I should do that. You know, I should make sure I beat him this run because I don't do that often, if ever. Nah.
Understandable though.
Yeah, that shit.
I like that about Souls games. There's stuff that's just ridiculous, but you don't even have to engage with it.
Yeah.
And Bloodborne, all the optional. There's so much optional content in this fucking game too.
Yeah, it's weird how many bosses are unnecessary.
I'm looking at the list here too. Like, what the heck? Like
what do you have? Gascoigne.
Like, so
Amelia. You don't even have to have runes in your head this entire game if you don't want.
So yeah, you don't have to kill the cleric beast. You don't have to kill Bloodstarved beast. Weirdly.
Yeah. That's literally just to get a chalice dungeon fucking cup.
Yeah.
Cup
you ain't gotta kill Logarius, I don't think.
No. You don't have to go to Canehurst.
The Celestial Emissary, Abridus, like, what the fuck? Just so much.
Yeah.
Of this game. The entire DLC is theoretically optional.
I mean, yeah.
If you're a baby, anyway. Not that I would approve of that kind of behavior.
Of being a baby?
Yes.
You want to see me be a baby?
No. What the fuck? What does that mean?
Want to see me put on a little bib? A little fucking, want to see me shit my fucking pants? I'll show you. I don't turn off the webcam. Don't turn up.
I actually don't have your webcam loaded up, I think. It's only showing
I've been looking
mine.
at you this entire time, looking at this beautiful goddamn face.
Wait, what the fuck? Why are you not on mine?
Oh, maybe I don't have mine up. Turn on camera.
Oh my... He lives! It's turning on. I'm reacting preemptively.
Yeah. Hello?
This entire time. I just felt like I was being stupid.
No, You're
fine.
I was just like, oh, I guess I can't see myself, but he can see me, right? That makes sense.
Like, I'm just sitting here like desperately wanting to make a fucking low insight joke. Like, looks like he had the low insight this time. This is dumb as fuck.
At least I won't get killed by the winter flower. What do they call it? The winter lanterns. I won't get killed by them as quickly.
Oh,
I'm
right.
dumber.
Dude, bad design. Okay.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about all the bad design.
So, this was one of my main things I was talking about, how Bloodborne is in my top 2 or top 10 or whatever, but it's like, there's so much shit in it where I'm like, literally, what were you guys doing? What the fuck? How? But, you know, admittedly, game dev is hard.
Yeah.
Like a lot, I mean, I say a lot, not like an unholy fuck ton goes into every game, and it's a miracle that any game gets released. But really, so much of Bloodborne feels bizarre and like uncharitable and not good at all. Stuff like that entire concept, what is it? Insanity or Frenzy.
Yeah.
Like, not reactable design. Like the League of Legends devs, not like they're good, are literally shaking their heads like, man, you can't even counterplay this shit.
Yeah.
Except with like a pair of clothing. Is there an item for Frenzy? I think so.
Just the sedative. Like, that's it.
Oh, like,
and
I
that's
just
a consumable, which you can't, like.
Yeah.
I guess you could. I don't know. I've never bought it, but I assume you can get it at one of the shops. But if you have to spend insight on that, that's fucked up, because that's not.
Yeah.
That is in and of itself a non-renewable resource.
Right. So the only like real counterplay is just to not engage with enemies like that. Yeah. Which is like, okay. Imagine being like the first time you got hit with Frenzy, like just getting chunked for 75% unreactively, and you're like, oh, cool. That's a cool game mechanic. The fuck's going on with that?
I'm sad I knew about it before I played, because I would have liked to know my reaction when I first.
I think my eyes were just like what the fuck? Just shit my pants.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's like you said. There's no counterplay. It's not interesting, really. It's just
it's not
run,
like
run
cool
and
quirk.
spam sedative.
Yeah. So there's that. Shit. Okay. Blood vials are a really touchy subject, because they are great and terrible in, I feel like, equal measure, kind of. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like a net zero. You're just like, I accept it.
Like, so okay, fucking with 20 blood vials and a little knowledge, you can brute force every fight in the game, except like anything that will over damage you, like Bloody Crow of Canehurst, for example, or like Ludwig's Ram or something. But that's not great design. Like the fact, like, for example, I had to learn every fight in Sekiro and it fucking sucked.
Yeah. And
now I know them all. But the problem is, in Bloodborne, I didn't have to learn like shit. There, he loaded it. Okay. Sorry. So no, yeah, you don't have to learn almost any fight in Bloodborne to at least to any meaningful degree, where you like know how to dodge everything. I think that's really
like
cool.
A critique.
So
you don't have to learn anything in this game.
So
heal. Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think. Like, I bring it up because of the Cleric Beast, which is my historically shit fight. I'm just bad at that fight, and there's no excuse for it. You have everything at your disposal: gunshots to the head, Molotov cocktails and oil. You have all kinds of answers. Just being good at the game. But I blood vial all the way through because I suck. But at least it gets me through, And I'm like, cool. And then I got a whole level to play, and I'll grind up some more blood vials and fight Gascoigne. So the system, oh my god, like, it's bad because you have to, spend money to recoup fast or spend time grinding. Like, that's not cool. Yeah. But I don't, and it's not as, we also said it's not as efficient as Demon Souls, where you can literally teleport to a spot and grind grass efficiently, leave, and teleport back in ad nauseum. And it works. But, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, shouldn't it, like, Estus is just reliable,
Yeah,
8,
it's a
10
known quantity.
Yeah.
And it requires you spending your humanity in order to get more. Like, there's a resource to get more Estus, like
that's true.
That is a strategic choice, and the bonfire with which you like use that humanity at. Yeah. Like, it's like, okay, this one I'm gonna use, and like you can't just use it at every single bonfire and always have 10 Estus no matter where you are. Like, unless you fucking farm humanity somehow, do PvP a lot. I don't know. But yeah.
So that's the thing, like that element of the game I don't appreciate, but I do for different, like I do and I don't for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I know, I'm pretty sure you don't like it at all or care for it terribly, because grinding sucks, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like I found a good grinding spot, and it doesn't take me a long time, but it's late game, and I have to just hope that I don't die too much early. There was one point where I was farming. I forget when it was, kind of early, but maybe it was Bloodstarved Beast. It was just like he would, he's a tough fight, and
yeah,
I just needed a couple extra vials, because especially near the end of that fight when when the poison
it goes
is
insane.
Working,
Oh
yeah, like if I get poisoned, like I'm not going to immediately use the antidote, because those are also consumable, and I don't have a lot, so I'm like, I'll use a couple blood vials first to like keep the health up, and then once I'm run away from him, then I'll use the antidote. So
yeah,
I used a lot of blood vials on that fight, and early enough game, it's like hard to get, like you have to basically go through Yharnam and like kill everything. Like I don't know if there's like high blood echo areas that early in the game that will like give you enough like blood echoes to buy a good amount of blood vials. I'm saying blood
I don't think
a lot.
so. That's the thing. I never grind echoes to buy them. I just grind them off mobs, and then the merciful thing is once I'm leveled up off a boss, I will spend the remainder on echoes, and it's like that's cool. Yeah. Like, okay, I'll take that. I don't know.
You mean on vials?
Sorry, yeah, vial. Like the game lubricates itself pretty well, I would say, except in a couple of places.
Right. Yeah, like I said last time, like blood vials kind of suck, but at least it's a way to spend your blood echoes on something you'll use. Like, so you're not running into an area with like 3,000 and you're like, I don't want to lose this. Oh, let's invest it in health, which is like just always good.
So true.
And quicksilver bullets, but yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, is there, so Frenzy and blood vials are like fairly, I mean, they have,
Frenzy
there's questions.
Well,
Frenzy's bad.
Could be good. Blood vials have their moments, or have their there's an angle that you're like, okay, I can accept this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else it was, because I recently did play it all the way. Well, you did too.
Yeah.
And I remember being annoyed multiple times, because I think I still hold that Bloodborne has an amazing start and a strong finish, but like the mid game just chugs through all these shitty levels that fucking blow to run through. Plus, you're like, I don't know, like sucking up blood vials, doing fucking like poison, like getting lasered, like having to refight all these dudes 100 times because they keep getting up, stuff like that. Like,
I mean, it's so weird to talk about now, and this is what I said last time. Like, for me, the game has turned into a boss rush because I'm kind of ignoring everything else. Like, I know the ins and outs so well that it's just like, all right, here's where. Let's pretend I'm using the spear. Like, here's the spear. I know where to get it. I got it. All right, let's go to Gascoigne or whatever.
Yeah. So, okay, that was the major critical point, wasn't it? Like, the fact that like you're kind of incentivized. It is true of all Souls games that you can run past every encounter and you don't have to engage with almost anything most of the time. So this is not new to Bloodborne, and I don't think it's even a problem really. I just think it kind of it signifies that I don't have to care about the level design. So what does that mean for the level design? And also I don't care for most of the levels in general. So is a gigantic portion of the game kind of sus? Or maybe? I don't know.
It's like you have to look at it from a first timer's perspective almost.
Exactly.
Like that virgin experience is what is most important. And I feel like Yharnam, as we said, is great, and like it still is like interesting, even though I know it. It's just like it's so obvious to like look at this like weird interconnected space. Like you could like make a video on that. Like I'm sure there's a video. 1-1 Yharnam is the best level in gaming. The mushroom goes right, and then you get killed because there's a giant beast. But yeah, like Yharnam is very obvious. But everything else, why? I don't know. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go fight the boss. Yeah. Like that's what I'm here for.
Like I'm not trying to get stuck on a little garbage shit on the floor in fucking Nightmare Frontier. I'm not playing that game. Exactly. I'm gonna run through that. Fuck. It's just
All
dumb.
right, here's the shortcut. How do I get it ready so I can have a decent boss run? And all right, let's fight the boss.
So, and the game lets you do it like that too. It's not really a problem because the echo payoff is huge. You can sufficiently level up all the way through the game for the most part.
Right.
And then if you really got to grind, hey, look, like whatever the ending right before Murgo.
Yeah,
Murgo's
exactly.
long.
The pigs and the shadows. Yeah.
Yeah. So the payoff's great there too. I just experienced this shit in Sekiro where I was like so pissed because I've said this before. Well, I don't know if I said it on Twitter yet, but it's like one of the most punishing Souls games I've ever played. Because it punishes you on an emotional level, on a spiritual level, on a material, like my experience is being drained and I can't actually fight that. Like I can't go pick up my experience again. It's gone.
Yeah.
And the money too, unless you bank it, which is great if you're a first time player and don't know where fucking anything is or that you should even do that. Thankfully, I know literally everything now. Anyway, how does that relate to Bloodborne though? I literally had an idea in my head and it fucking got away. Tell me how Bloodborne is not like that. It's the opposite of that.
I mean, well, just being able to pick up your blood echoes for one. Like, I mean, Sekiro completely deviated from that. Like, you just lose all the work that you put in.
Yeah. Oh my god. It really isn't. Oh, sorry. It's the end game grinding shit. Like,
oh yeah.
I got to Fountainhead, if you know what I'm talking. And it's just like, oh man, these guys are dropping insane amounts of money, insane amounts of experience. They're extremely easy to kill. Like the ones that turn you old. And it's just like, damn, like I can grind here. And I just had that moment, like at the fucking end of the game, I was like, I can grind now. Yay. Like, why the fuck wasn't this anywhere else? Technically it was. Mibu Village is also fairly easy to grind. Like I don't want to, but I don't think the rewards are, it's where the small people are before the corrupted monk fight.
Oh, okay. Like the fishing kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So like,
really?
But they don't drop as much. At least I didn't think they did. So I was like, whatever.
Well, you got to
like,
pop the balloons and
time
it right. Yeah.
Life is so hard.
With
Every game has options.
You just have the rune and you can just get more blood echoes. I appreciate that.
Speaking of runes, I feel like an asshole. Runes are kind of questionable too. You know what? Maybe not questionable.
What?
But I only ever use like anti-clockwise metamorphosis, clockwise metamorphosis, and then one of the lake runes.
Health.
It's stamina, health, and then whatever the other thing is. There's another one that's like A+, and I can't remember what it is. But I only ever use those runes.
Really?
Literally never anyone else. Like I don't use resistances because it's like, who gives a shit? I'm gonna die anyway if I get fucking hit.
I'll use a resistance if like just like it's just like the extra one. I'm just like, all right, whatever, poison.
That's I'm trying to think what the third one is that I used. I think it might be a damage thing. No, it's reducing. So there's stamina, health, and damage reduction. And you can get up to 30% for all of those things. That's insanely high passive benefits. Like, I don't see any reason to use any of the other things.
Well, as someone who uses a lot of visceral attacks, though, I use the increased visceral damage and getting your health back when you do a visceral attack. So, like, that is what I
see
main
that
a lot. Depending on the boss.
You were like pure skill and you had max visceral on fucking on Orphan of Kaz or whatever. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I've never tried that, but I imagine the damage is like ambrosially beautiful to experience.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, the first half is nice. The second half, you gotta kind of get lucky with a backstab. But...
Second half, I love video games. I have to remind myself why I love video games.
Yeah, I just have like a piece of paper on the wall that I like put my face right up against too, and I'm enjoying this. I am enjoying this, and it's an incantation.
I am enjoying this video game. We have fun here.
Sorry. So we talked about weapons. We didn't talk about bosses bosses with granular detail.
No,
just tangentially.
But I mean that's like the game, right? Like
at least right. Now, it's a boss run,
right?
As you say. So, okay, well, what's your favorite boss? Show me your bona fides.
Let's see. My favorite boss. I've got the list here. So this doesn't include the Chalice dungeons because I've only played through. I don't really know what.
I've never completed the Chalice dungeons.
Yeah, I've never completed them, which I feel kind of bad about. But
it's optional
it's like
content.
Work. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like optional content that like fleshes out the lore, so it's not even like terribly like It's not the plot. Do you know what I mean? It's like background noise.
Yeah. I mean, some people like that.
Yeah.
It's not just noise, but, you know.
I am such a hateful person of lore. Oh my god.
But
that
that's
was
like the story, though.
No. The story is the story as it happens on screen.
The story.
The lore is like, how do I say this? Dune is not a better like thing. Actually, that's wrong. Oh my god, I'm actually just dead ass wrong. Holy shit. Let me explain how I'm wrong. Dune is a book series or whatever that intros with it's probably its most significant event is a foreword or whatever before the actual shit happens. Okay. So I'm not even joking about that. So it's like I actually can't stand on that, so I will now step down.
I'm just saying, like, the narrative to even understand what is happening in the moment requires like
that is
lore,
so true.
You know what I mean? Like that's how they design it. So
like that's where the appreciation comes from, because so much we were just talking about the hunters, and it's like you can go through the entire game as an ignorant dumbass with no insight, or you can gain 0.1 insight and then think, wow, this is an A+. So which it is. Right.
Like if you don't read anything, like you're not going to know what the hunters are, what like and why the hunters are employed, like what their larger the organization is
why
doing,
the church giants are there.
Right, exactly. Those are kind of unexplained, I think, in terms of
I forget
their
what
size.
There was some kind of thing I thought they were taking like it was blood or something, and they had like been corrupted so much that they had grown to freakish proportions as a means to fight against the beasts. I recall. Okay. Because they are actually like church people. They're not like
they look like they look like the smaller dudes, just fucking beefed up. But you also find them in the poison area by the Forbidden Woods, right? So I'm wondering what that's about. I'm sure someone might have some light explanation of that. Oh my god, I hate that. There's so much shit. You just like, so what's the story with this one room? It's just like a fucking wall of text, or like something that's kind of seems major but maybe isn't. Like you can find a Yosefka's blood vial right next to Murgo's area. What the fuck? What is that? No, I literally that's one bit of the lore I have not explored, but I picked that up in my playthrough recently, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what? Why? Was she here? Is she doing like studies? Like, yeah, what? It's so weird. Also, man. Are Yosefka's blood vials Yosefka's, or are they imposter Yosefka's? Right, exactly, because there's two. Shit. Man, we were going to talk about bosses, but then we talked about lore. To be fair, that's understandable. So lore informs these bosses. Yeah, of course. But I don't like any of them for that reason, though. No, of course not. It's because they look cool. Oh, no. Even the ones that look shitty are fucking... Some of them are great. That was my whole tear. Shitty looking one? The Shadow of Yharnam looks lame as shit because they're just three dudes in robes. But they do all these... Sorry, I bias here because they're not like wearing elegant armor pieces and cool fashion Souls outfits. Now, and they don't even show their face because they're just like that favorite YouTuber of yours who's too much of a coward. I'm joking. They don't want to get doxxed and killed IRL. I get it. Yeah, that's fair. But living with fear is... Anyway, Shadow of Yharnam is really fun and cool. And they do a lot of interesting things, and it's really like it's a tough fight because you're constantly dealing with three different enemies, right? Yeah. Obviously. And a lot of the game, if you're in a fight with three dudes, you're either dead or like in some significant trouble. So like it's interesting that they just throw you into that, and they're like, no, you have to deal. And you do a lot of in and out, and that's the thing. We were talking about rogue gameplay. This fight is like, this is where you would have a stealth segment, I feel, where you would pick one of them off, but there is no such thing. You have to weave in and out. People use the term dance for Sekiro, but like, what about Bloodborne, where you're literally just like zooming in and out? It might not be a dance, but it's something like that. I think this is more of a dance than Sekiro. I think you're right. Like Sekiro is about it feels like the pairing is where the timing comes in. Like you have to sidestep some certain things that can't be like parried like that. But sure. Like Bloodborne, like it is like this. I don't even. Yeah, there's a sway, there's a bob, there's a movement. Exactly. Yeah. And it's not like boxing. I'm not like coming out to pop, knock someone out. I'm coming in to get my chip and then move. Like run away. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I like the sidestep so much compared to a dodge, like a roll. And I think that's something I didn't really communicate last time we talked. But like it adds. Right. That is where like the dance comes in, is that specific style of dodge. And like like I said, I don't know if there's like frame data to confirm that they are like unique dodge options. Like, is the roll like have less frames, more frames? I don't know, but
oh shit, no, there is actually a frame difference, and I don't know what it is off the top of my head. But yeah, you're right. There is a difference there.
Okay, so then there is materially a reason to sidestep versus rolling, which helps my cause and makes it more than just like it looks cool. It's like actually a way of getting, in between attacks, and especially these three enemies who, I mean, I try not to be in the middle because that will get you fucking killed pretty quick.
Exactly.
But like you can go in between and like try and get away from them, so you can, have the fireballs lead away from you and use that gravestone in the middle. Like that's good. That's like one of the few times the boss, like the level design,
the environment
in a boss arena actually matters.
That's so true for these games. Oh my god!
Like Gascoigne, you can kind of cheese them with it.
That fight shouldn't even be that. Okay, like there's like environmental design, and then there's like we threw this shit in a graveyard. Because that fight is honestly, I never talk about how it being good because it's like it's like a tutorial, and it's also in a level that sucks. Like awesome, my fucking favorite. But yes, no, Shadow of Yharnam does use that, and it's such a minor thing, but to great effect. Good job.
Yeah, and you go around that, and like I get to parry a guy, and like you try and like there's a strategy to not having one die quickly because then you're fighting two dudes who are like extra powerful, right? They can shoot snakes 50 feet away from them, and fucking so like there's like there's a dance to equalizing the health of these enemies or whatever.
Exactly,
which I really appreciated, especially in this last playthrough. Like it was one of my favorite fights.
Okay, so same shit, but I will say I don't appreciate Rom at all for despite like playing at the concept. It might just be because he drops a fuck million spiders on your head, and then so it's like this is fun.
That's just busy work.
It is. Like ROM is weird because it takes you back to Dark Souls, and I'm not kidding. Like where you have to, you slash up the first phase, and then in phase 2 and 3, you watch for the whatever the spell that he's gonna do or the roll or whatever, and you get the hell out of the way. You have to play passive the entire and dodge the spiders the whole time. Right.
Well, I just kill all the spiders.
I've never even like thought to kill them all.
Well,
it's too much of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's time, but like it just makes it trivial.
Holy shit, that's funny. I never even thought of that. Wow. Huh.
Yeah, just do it. I mean, you don't have to if you can do it without it, but like
well, that's the thing. My strategy is to like shepherd them around in a circle until they're mostly like in one place, and then I go bat them from the other side. And not even that much, to be honest. Like there's still dudes around me when I'm slashing them.
Yeah. I just try and get rid of any possible threat.
Any
it's just like,
bullshit.
Yeah, they're jumping on, they're smashing you with their heads from above. Yeah, no, I just kill them real quick. I'd rather do that than shepherd them because I don't know if they have like the greatest. They can't be rallied that well. Maybe they can, and I just never tried it. But
wait, do you kill the dudes in Witch of Hemwick too?
No.
Okay, wait, why? Wait, why? That's
like I could just run away, and they're really slow. And they're not usually around the witches. Like literally the spiders are circling,
Yeah,
and Rom can like do the magic or smash you. I'd rather just get Rom is more of a threat than the Witch of Hemwick.
That totally checks out, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but though I will say I feel like I didn't kill the Rom dudes because I was like, I feel like the game taught me to just ignore like noise and just go for the throat. Do you know what I mean? Like cut to the jugular.
Nah, I fuck with the noise.
Oh shit. Okay. Twee reference. No, it's not. All right. So no one gives a shit about The World Ends With You except me and like writing the game professor and like yeah and others. So who else does that? No one else, I don't think. Mikolash, but he doesn't matter, so who cares?
Yeah, do you even... I mean, you have to kill the two puppets, but, like, otherwise I'm not fighting the other ones. They don't...
No, I ignore almost everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Except... Oh, and same, the one Reborn is the only one I feel like you really have to, like... How do I say it? Like, or... Whatever, you do have to deal with those guys.
You know what's funny, though? First time I
Did you not?
I didn't kill anything, and I beat him first try.
Holy shit, that's wild.
And... I don't know how I did that because now it's such a pain in the goddamn ass.
Yeah,
but like
that is true. That is like beginner's luck is a real thing though, because like your brain ignores so much info that you can actually cut to the heart of the matter often. But then as soon as you know, and you start like second guessing yourself and hitting stumbling blocks because you know too much at a point.
Yeah.
And that's like the midpoint of learning where you're like, I'm just a stupid person and I've never been good at anything. That's so fucked.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah, beginner's luck isn't that fun though, because you're just like,
No.
whatever, that was easy. So you need the ignorance to gain insight, and that process is what is interesting.
Thematic game design, love it. Okay.
Exactly.
Actually, you know what? Now that we're talking about mobs in boss fights, actually a shit ton of these use mobs. Like the Celestial Emissary is just a series of himself. Fucking the living failures are literally just a bunch of him, and you have to kill them until it's done.
Yeah.
You don't even have to kill all of them, do you? Well, maybe you do.
No,
That's fucking weird.
You just do enough damage, and like they'll always keep respawning. So,
God.
And I just visceral those guys. And what you can do is when they're like spawning the star stuff to fall down, you just visceral one, and then you're invulnerable the entire time.
I literally always just run behind the beanstalk. How about that?
Do a little damage during that. The beanstalk, is it?
It's like it's like a lumen flower thing,
or
like a giant one.
Yeah.
Just as Jack and the Beanstalk. They fucking repackaged Western tropes so the Westerners would understand.
Yeah.
So, of these fights, only Shadow of Yharnam, which isn't even a mob like busy work fight, is like one that I actually consider like top tier or good. That's interesting. The rest are like whatever.
Of all the boss fights in general?
Like, no, the ones that summon a bunch of dumbasses.
Okay, just like have multiple enemies to fight.
Yeah, like I don't like the one Reborn. He does invisible acid that hits you before it appears and summons a bunch of fucking viscera, and it's annoying. Like,
and the hand thing, for those who don't know, I'll repeat. His hands, they'll explode silently, and you won't know you got hit. Yeah.
What is that? Dude. Like, I don't know, but I do love... So, okay, then it must be the case that some of the bosses, or a series of the bosses, carry the game very hard.
Yeah.
Because so many of these bosses are like, whatever, or I killed... But that's also kind of necessary to Souls, isn't it? Like...
What do you mean?
It is not virtuous that if every fight is fucking Slave Knight Gale. It's better that some bosses be dumb idiots who roll over and you feel like, cool, okay, it's done. So you can get to the really good one later.
Is there so like the Souls games have gimmick bosses, right? Is there a gimmick boss in this one?
Oh god, I don't think so.
Like there's nothing like so simple, like here's the key to it. Like,
using the storm whatever.
Yeah.
The storm idiot sword.
Yeah,
I don't really... I feel like there's one fight that
maybe
you can
Witch of Hemwick.
Yes, but
like
why?
Because you could, one, if you don't have insight, you don't spawn the other dudes, and then it's just like kind of figuring out like, oh, there's two of them, and you know it's not the same as a gimmick fight, but it's like the closest.
That's true. I never even thought of that. Oh man. Other than that, no, I think all of them require some level of
of attention and skill.
Yeah. Huh. It's interesting too. Like I've never cheesed any of the bosses in Bloodborne like I did in Sekiro. Like I've never tricked anyone off a cliff. I don't even know if you can.
That's it. Yeah, right.
I've never like I'm gonna run away and then do one R1 and then just keep running around. Like I've never done that.
Because you don't. But all we said, you don't have to. You know.
Yeah. Well, in Bloodborne, every fucking boss is possible. Like, and again, Rally, Blood Vials, like it's a perfect storm to make it playable. And like, I was raging endlessly about Sekiro on Twitter because it's true. It's Mega Man Zero in 3D. Memorize the 75% of accuracy or die. Every single fight is like, sorry, every major boss is like that.
Yeah.
And it sucks. Like, yeah, it's fun after the fact when you're blazing through on NG+, but that's like 40 hours of pain later. Are you... I'm sitting there literally genuinely struggling because my friend is like sending me all these texts like, don't worry, keep doing it. Stay positive and you'll... And I'm like, how did you play this for fun working a real job in the real world?
Yeah, right.
Don't you just want to die? Don't you feel stupid and inadequate like fucking all the time? Because it's... Oh, God. Bloodborne's not like that.
No.
Shake my finger. Figure it out, like click with the system, good for the rest of the game, and that happens before the game's even partially started.
Yeah, like
just
with
saying.
Sekiro, I did research to fight the bosses, so I didn't have to bash my head to memorize, like you said, this 75% of the attack patterns. I looked up what the attack patterns were so I could prepare myself, whereas Bloodborne, like, I mean, I would look up sometimes because I was like, how do I beat the Orphan of Cause? It's like, no, you're doing it. You just be better.
Yeah.
Be able to dodge a little better.
You know what Bloodborne doesn't ask you to do? It doesn't ask you to do something contradictory to recovering some resource you have, okay? Like guarding to recover your stamina. Let's talk about how that doesn't make any with high HP. Like, what even is like that? I had to break my brain because it's like, oh, this is actually a bad thing in other games. Like,
right, the Dark Souls, you're not recovering stamina if you're blocking. Like, I mean, it's much slower, so you would think, why would you want to block? But this Sekiro's is just block.
Yeah,
just
be passive, but also hyper aggressive, but also know everything.
Yeah.
Fucking, like, it's a really amazing system to master, but goddamn, is it a fucking tangle. Like, at least, whatever. I got it, guys. I beat it. I'm good now, okay? Guardian Ape second try on New Game Plus. I'm okay.
Did you use the attachment that pulls the centipede out?
No. Sorry, what? What are you talking?
Okay, so... Yeah, this is why I looked this stuff up.
Are you talking about the whistle?
No. So you get like this, I forget what it is, like almost a spear or something. And it kind of lightly describes that like it'll like pull enemies towards you. And so if you do it at this specific time when he's like, what do you call that? Stunned, whatever. You can pull out a centipede and like attack that, and it does like extra damage.
I didn't know
like in
that.
His headless form. Yeah.
Because I've always just used the firecracker to stun him to get extra hits, or the like purple umbrella to not die to the howl if I'm not running fast enough. Right. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
So yeah,
there's so much to learn.
That. Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Right.
Well, the second phase is the one I don't have a problem with. It's the first one that fucks me up.
Yeah.
Because like I literally bait the poo attack every single time and just punish him for it.
Huh.
It's a miserable strategy.
Poo attack.
Yeah. God. Anyway, Bloodborne.
Yeah, Bloodborne, yeah, sorry.
No poo attacks in Bloodborne, unfortunately. Well, there's some shitty attacks, to be honest.
But there's no fecal matter, I guess? Yeah.
There's probably like at least one thing that smells like shit, at least.
Yeah, I mean, you can...
all of them smell like shit.
You can rip out the pig's asshole, but like there's no poop that comes out.
I was going to say like... Well, okay, never mind. I don't know. I started this... Or tried to start this segment by asking your favorite boss, and then I buffed it with Shadow of Yharnam. Did you ever actually have a favorite boss, or wait? Did that
I don't think I said.
Oh no!
But it's like a tough question because
Shadows
of Yharnam is good, but I like Vicar because of her design. I like Ludwig because that's a really fast paced. Like it's a beast fight, but it like requires a lot of dodging and a lot of it's just quick.
It switches up the tempo mid-fight.
Right, exactly. And then the second phase. I like Maria because I like blood splattering everywhere. Bloodstarved Beast. I will say this last playthrough, the Bloodstarved Beast was like one of the harder ones. And it was like, it just made me like be aggressive, like get in there. Like, I know you're getting poisoned, but just like go for it. And just get the parry timing just right, and it was really frantic, and like I was on like my last couple blood vials near the end there, and it just felt good.
I'm all for that. I feel like that fight is like in particular pretty like underappreciated constantly. Yeah. I think because it doesn't do anything terribly bombastic, but it is fucking disgusting. So
yeah,
like God bless. Skin flapping all over the place. Jesus, why did they even do that? Why'd you even do that?
I honestly didn't really think about it. I was like, oh, he's got a little hood on.
He's got a hood. It's like fucking...
It's just a cloak.
Holy, okay.
I think that's what's intended to like evoke. Yeah. But yeah, it is just meat at the end of the day.
It's just schmeat. Fucking sweet, brother. Oh man.
But yeah, what would you say your favorite is if it isn't Shadows?
God, I actually don't even know. Now that you answered the question. Oh man, it's one of the DLC bosses or Shadow of Yharnam. I think. I hate to say, because like I don't want to put. You know when you pick a favorite anything, you kind of like put that symbol on your face. So like I'm the fucking Shadow of Yharnam guy, but since they're so lame to look at, I don't want to associate myself with that kind of thing.
Right.
So fucking like Ludwig's got the Moonlight Greatsword. That's a pretty nice vanity pick. Plus he's badass. I still like Orphan of Cause even if he's miserable, because it's just like there's something about we talked about this last time, how not only is it horrifically disgusting that he just like crawls out of the womb, umbilical cord, like what the hell is even on that shrimp ring? Like, come on, bro.
It's a placenta.
Yeah. What the fuck? Like, so it's sick and demented.
Yeah.
The fight is so hard. He's shrieking at you the whole time. It's just morbidly unpleasant, but I love it anyway. I don't know. I think it's the contrast. Like, how do I say this? Like, you're at the end of the game, and the hardest boss in the game, the strongest thing is just some like gross baby that crawled out of a womb. Yeah, it's just some guy. It looks like Greg crawled out, and he's all fucked up. It's like, let's go, and it's like, okay. I'm not fighting God, okay? I'm just fighting this idiot, this gross thing.
Yeah. I mean, he's a tragic figure, right? Like, he's crying when he comes out, and yeah. It's sad.
That's the mood.
If you know.
If you play like an ignorant beast like me,
then it's just like, I'm gonna kill this guy. He works in the office. He's fucking disgusting. But that's second phase, and I kind of want to almost re-fight him soon, so while I still have like the muscle memory. Because, like, that second phase fucked me up so bad, and I feel like I have it now. It's just like, get in there and just go for it. Like, that was I was too passive, I think, and I wasn't getting enough damage, and it just was taking too long, and I would die too quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if I get the dodges right and I like maneuver my body around him and get the charge attacks on him,
do you think there's weight to that idea that, like, we were talking about bad design, but we missed this thing about Souls bosses in general, how you will feel on the shittiest challenges that you only won because you won the lottery. Like, your friend mentioned that.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yes, yeah. It's funny to remember that.
Dude, my memory is insane. I got through school barely studying anything.
Yeah, right.
Holy shit. But no, okay. What the fuck? Like, I often feel that in Souls games where it's like, oh, the boss went nice on me. Time.
You didn't get that combo. You didn't get that stupid attack that will, like, I mean, a Breedis, right? Like, if you luck out and you don't get the charge attack, you'll probably be okay.
So that actually happened in the orphan fight too this time, where at the very end, I actually have the footage and I watched it back, and it's I hit him and he's going to do a move, and then I hit him one more time knowing I'm dead because I'm out of like health or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and it fucking stuns him, and I'm like, holy shit, and I just get another hit and win, and I'm like, I was dead. Like,
right.
Thank you. So, like, I didn't earn it. It's I don't know.
Because that's not like necessarily reproducible. Like, you don't know that you're gonna stun them. I don't know what the odds are. I don't know if they have like a super armor level, and if you like hit them with a certain amount of damage, that'll do, like, maybe there's some math to it, but like,
that's true. There probably is. Yeah, exactly. So I felt like I just like did a dumb thing, got rewarded for being dumb, and it's like, cool.
Yeah.
Bye.
Or do you beat a boss first time and it's just like, okay, like, you didn't see that specific combo or whatever. Like I said, my friend, I don't know if maybe I didn't tell you, my friend beat Orphan of Cause first time. Like,
what in the fuck? How?
I was there too, like, so I can vouch.
Okay, so why aren't they like game YouTubing and challenge running? Like, what? Literally, what? That's absurd.
I think if we, like, I don't know. I feel bad, but it's like, I want to be like, do it again.
Yeah. It's like, no, dude, it's easy. That's like the fuckers on goddamn GameFAQs or whatever forum you're on, looking up info.
No, it's easy. Orphan's easy. What are you even talking about?
Oh, Devil May Cry 3 is the easiest shit ever, and it's like literally one of the hardest PS2 games ever produced in its original form. And it's like, so you're a piece of shit. I will never listen to anything you say because you're a piece of shit with an agenda, I guess. Like, to push my, like, look how big my dick is. Like, awesome.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Put it online, please.
My friend is a good person.
I'm not saying that.
He kind of realized, like, the magic of what just happened. Like,
he's like, I just did an amazing thing. I will collect my $1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
What a chat, honestly. Like, wow, that's amazing. Oh, God.
Yeah, he literally showed his whole ass to the television after he beat it. Like, he mooned the TV. So,
what a legend.
And he deserved it.
I aspire to that level of masculine energy. I don't think I have it in me.
He's also a theater guy. He is in New York right now, like, trying to get gigs and stuff. So
that's awesome.
Actually, he's in Maine right now in a Shrek musical.
Oh my,
Yeah.
wait, is he Shrek?
Yeah, he is Shrek.
Holy shit, dude, he gets to sing some of that musical gets dogged a lot, but it actually is 2 really fucking good songs. The one about being a hero is like A+ for theater. Really love it. There's another one that I've forgotten. Fuck, wow. He gets to be Shrek, dude.
Mm-hmm. It's like for a kid's production, so it isn't like this.
Okay.
Like, he's not doing the full makeup and stuff, but like, yeah, he's probably singing the songs, yeah.
What a Chad. Oh my god. Sorry, wow. I'm just like enamored by this. That's awesome. Yeah, I said Bloodborne ain't got no Shrek in it.
I mean, the brick trolls are ogre-esque, I guess.
Okay, but they're not in swamps. Well, there's one maybe.
In the Forbidden Woods, I don't think so.
I actually have I can't remember.
I think they're only
no Shrek.
in Yarnum.
Lost the whole point off my top 10 because it's not got Shrek. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Now we've just evolved. Okay, I don't want to be a meme guy. Okay, that Morbius shit I mentioned at the start did not tickle me. I was thinking, okay, no offense. If you're the commissioner out there and you're a super secret fan or something, I don't want to offend you. But I was really thinking to myself, can you please, like, additionally commission an arrow to the knee joke on top of it? Because, like, I am in stitches. I'm sorry. Was that me? Was that too mean?
That's fine.
I just, sure I don't.
It feels like someone in the Discord just being like, "Oh, let's have fun." Like, yeah.
I hope it was cheap. I was sitting there like I could have eaten sushi off that money. I could have had sushi.
Yeah, right.
Instead of eating instead of eating shit and beans and KD and hot dogs and fucking rice and stuff that's not very good.
So sorry,
dude. Look, I gotta save every penny. Well, I'm not that poor, but like, it is my intent to make it to the end game of life. So
yeah,
that's all.
Just saute some bell peppers or something. I don't know, man.
True. I baked a tomato one time and ate it, and it just gave me massive acid pain. Like, it was the worst. Because no, it's like a recipe. You got to bake it with the oil and the salt and the pepper and the cheese. Yeah. But then you eat it and you realize you just ate a whole tomato, which is predominantly acid. Yes. It was like
hydrochloric acid in a ball.
And I didn't. It was 2. I ate 2 in a row, and I was like, I fucking hate this. Because my wife wouldn't eat the rest of hers. So.
Okay, yeah. And you don't want it to let it go to waste.
Yeah, I'm not wasting a tomato.
That's how I feel when I cut up one for a salad, but I'm not eating all of it. And I'm just like, well,
I got my big couple slices. Yeah.
I'm just eating it like an apple, just cold.
Oh god.
Do you have any final thoughts? I guess I feel like we've talked about a good amount of stuff. I don't know.
We've talked nearly 2 hours. We're 15 minutes shy.
Yeah.
There's a couple segments to be cut, but that doesn't matter. I'm not super pressed about it.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about lore though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay. we integrated lore, but we didn't talk lore.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about.
I guess we did
the style of it.
Yeah. How it delivers it uniquely. Right. How you can dig for it in the Chalice dungeons too, if you want. How the lore a little knowledge recontextualizes much of the game and your role in it.
Yeah.
And the bosses, and a lot more stories become tragic. Because I remember
the Souls thing. That's that's Vati's shit, right?
Like, maybe I'm weird because I write a lot, so and I have aspirations of being a writer, but I'm not deeply affected by a lot of written stuff. If it's performed, I can feel the performance, but if I read it, I'm not like, oh, I feel so bad. You know what I mean? Maybe that goes hand in hand with me not caring about stabbing dudes in Dishonored or whatever the fuck. But I was telling one of the stories of one of the Bloodborne bosses, backstories, to my wife after I'd read it, and she was like, "That's the saddest thing." Yeah, I know. I was like, "Oh shit!" There must be people who read this shit and go this is this is gacted kenography. I said it. You're like, it's just
kenography.
I love the fucking look of pure blank. Don't worry, it's Kino, as they say. Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Kino?
Yeah.
Just Kino?
Yeah, it's good? Kino. It's good.
I didn't know if kenography is kenography a real thing.
No, it's like a meme to
okay. I was like, what is this field of study that I know nothing about?
I feel like stuff oh my god, Twooey, but the bad parts are gacted kenography, if that makes sense.
Okay, gotcha.
But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But no. So a lot of the lore is deeply interesting. I mean, it's not new either. Is it Miyazaki who writes them, or do they have a staff writer? I haven't actually looked it up.
I assume. I mean,
Or it's like a
who knows if he
co-effort.
writes? Yeah, I'm sure like he's not writing literally every single piece of lore, but like I'm
For
sure
sure.
he has like the broad strokes, and he'll like write like
Yeah.
the plot per se, and then someone like maybe puts it. I don't know. That's something to look into. Is he that micromanagey about it?
I don't know. I almost overspoke and said something about the work culture and fucking. Oh no. No, I was reading reviews about the studio who produces these games, and it was like kind of negative. Like honestly,
Yeah.
now
Oh,
that's not
yeah.
unexpected for game dev in Japan anyway.
Game dev
Like-
and Japan, like
Yeah.
and not
But
that
I was
America's great, but
That was the thing. I was reading it like I thought you were perfect.
yeah,
No.
exactly. Just like everyone else.
No, I can't deal with this pain.
Yeah.
The cognitive dissonance caused by my internal bias.
mean, and this is something that I wanted to say. I feel like From Software is like one of the greatest animation studios of all time, like of
yeah.
any medium. Like that is what they do. Like after Dark Souls 1, which like, has animation but it isn't like fucking, gorgeous or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Bloodborne, it's like, oh shit. And then like every subsequent game, like graphically they haven't like really gone up. It's
Yeah,
just
I
the
mean-
animation that like gets crazier and like more
Yeah.
intricate, and like that's what you're fighting against. Like especially Sekiro, like what is that game
Oh,
except
yeah,
reading
holy
animations?
Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't even think of that. And there's so much going on with so many enemies. It's like,
Yeah.
it's no wonder people like dog them sometimes for like reusing assets and shit. And it's like, no, this is why we have great things concurrently with this release. Like,
Exactly.
holy crap. Like
Like,
those
you
dudes.
You can't animate all that shit and like have time for everything else. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't
Like, aren't
work.
the snake dudes in have you played Dark Souls 3?
Yeah.
There's like these hunched over snake head guys, right? In the Dragon
yeah,
Temple.
yeah, exactly.
Aren't they just the dudes from Bloodborne? Like in the old city or whatever, basically?
Oh shit! Yeah, pretty
Like,
like,
they're
the cloak kind of
Yeah.
dragged over their head, but they
Like, not
can
identical,
extend their
but-
neck. But yeah,
Yeah. I feel like they reuse a lot of that. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
and
Weird
especially as the games go on, and once you play Elden Ring, not that you've played like literally all of their stuff before, you're gonna see a lot
Yeah.
of like reuse. I mean, it's fine; it's such a big game, but like
Yeah.
it's so interesting to see all the DNA like just spliced into this other game.
That's true. Oh man. So good
But
on them for that, I suppose.
Right.
Constantly pushing the animations.
Oh yeah.
It's the weapon swaps we already mentioned, but yeah, same.
Yeah, like Bloodborne, like Maria, like I was saying, like they really like doing that style where it's like the trail of stuff over, or past a weapon and
Yeah.
whatnot. But like, yeah, Dark Souls 3 goes fucking hard with its animation. Fucking Sekiro, obviously.
Oh, do you really are you super into the Victorian aesthetic, like above, like horror as well, Gothic architecture too, and all that, like above like the other Souls games, and they're like suits almost stock fantasy for the first one, but not quite. I don't
So-
want to say that because it doesn't use elves or anything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's. I mean, Berserkian, maybe. I don't know. Like, I'm sure someone else is more qualified to speak on that. Maybe you. I don't know. if you've
Sorry,
read the
your
manga.
mic actually cut out. I didn't catch. Oh, Berserk is what you were saying.
Berserkian. That's what I
Oh
said.
yeah,
Yeah.
That
I don't know
makes
if you
sense. Yeah,
read
dark
or-
fantasy. I've read a good, not all of it. I haven't read mostly the kids section, but I read like everything before that. So, no, yeah, it's oh man, no, I see what you're saying, because like Berserk is like dark, low fantasy or low whatever except for the Eldritch elements,
Yeah,
basically,
right.
which this is Eldritch as well, but it uses Lovecraft instead
Mhm.
as a baseline. That's fascinating. Yeah, no, I love that aesthetic, like generally.
Yeah.
Dark fantasy, and like I like Diablo a lot. I like
Uh-huh.
Dragon Age a lot, because I don't know what it is about dark fantasy. I guess it's because it's not with the airy fairy bullshit anymore about
Yeah.
fucking like the elves love nature, and it's like, yeah, but why aren't they alien because of it? Why don't they
Yeah.
have stronger opinions about men being parasitic, weird, like colonizing upstart shitheads? Like
Yeah.
that's literally what they're supposed to be. Oh, no offense to Tolkien's elves. I understand he was like riffing mythology or whatever.
Yeah, right.
That's not, so whatever, but like whatever. So they drop a lot of that and deal with human issues as opposed to other, and not that fucking Dragon Age, for example, drops all of it. but the forest elves are much more militant and trustful, and then there's city elves who are quite literally like, you know what I mean? There are city elves and they're enslaved, and it's like, okay, I like the gritty nature of it a lot more. There's a more human. I don't want to like inflate the value of stories that are, oh my god, like constantly raising the stakes, I guess. Like, because it can be a cheap writerly trick to do that sometimes, but it feels like there's a lot more fertile ground for like deep, meaningful things to happen.
That especially in an RPG of like Dragon Age, like you need you need interesting things to be happening. Yeah.
So that's like my DNA from like my aesthetic. I love dark fantasy, but Victorian stuff is also, I feel like, I don't want to say it's underrepresented, but certainly to that grandeur in a video game, like massively so. I mean, it's not Victorian in the sense that like the fucking buildings are like, have you seen Yharnam? What the fuck is that city? How does that even work? It's like Victorian Gondor or some shit. Like, it's insane, you know?
Right.
Like, I think a city of insane scope.
When you say like, do you like the Victorian aesthetic? And like, I think generally I don't, but like Bloodborne though, like,
so why is
gets me? I don't know why. I think it's just the scale, and I mean the animation and stuff. Like these, it includes monsters. I wouldn't watch like, you know, I'm not reading like 1800, you know, like novels and shit from the era. Like,
I'm gonna read Jane Austen.
Exactly.
That's
like,
not
that's
fair,
not what I'm into. But like once it's like fused with horror or like fiction, genre, genre fiction. Like that's when it's like, oh yeah, like that's why Dishonored is interesting to me, because it has like just really good, like
that universe, man.
Yeah,
like I've got the lore book. I never buy lore books. Holy shit.
Right. And I mean, so the Dishonored 2 is like one of the fucking greatest like looking games ever. But
that thing, it's like a master. It's a work of art. It's literally also in my top 10. Coincidentally, well, that and one. I don't know. I put them as a side by side, but
yeah, that's fair.
The fucking Bloodborne, man. So I guess it is that unique confluence of aesthetics, how it sells itself, the amount to which the player is rewarded for digging, and not just in gameplay, but also in lore terms as well. So and it kind of hooks you into that too. Like, not only is it easier to move through than your average Souls game, at least in my experience.
Yeah,
I think some people think it's the hardest one, and I don't know why, because that's obviously Sekiro, and it's not a question. Sorry.
I mean, they were saying that I think before Sekiro.
Oh yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, no. It gets you into the game and then lets you get into the game after that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But like, is that any different from Dark Souls? I guess Dark Souls is more like immediately like wall status. Like if you pick a bad build, you're fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
But like,
Bloodborne
and you're
doesn't
like,
really have like immediately
fat
bad
rolling
builds.
and shit, right? Like you can roll in every you can fully roll or dodge in Bloodborne every time.
Yeah,
and then
like
Souls is punishing you for not balancing your helmets or whatever. Like, cool.
Yeah, with Dark Souls diversity comes a higher skill floor, but also maybe a higher skill set. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
It could be.
It makes it easier for people who know how to exploit it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think the Souls games give you way more room to fuck up and way more room to clown on the enemy, because like maybe I'm wrong about that, but maybe not more room actually. That's interesting. Why do I think that?
I mean, there's like, like the magic is more robust, and like that can really,
that's true.
Like the effect. I mean, people say that's the easy mode, right? So there's that. Like if you just go all in on poise and stuff, you can just like hammer dudes. Like there's so many different ways of going about it. Whereas Bloodborne, like we said before, is like prescriptive, like a Sekiro, right? Where it's like, here's how you're playing the game.
Okay.
You got to play it like this. And I mean, Bloodborne has more variance than a Sekiro, but
that's the thing. It's not prescriptive in the sense that it still lets you, like, if you don't completely mold to it, you can still survive.
Yeah.
In Sekiro, if you don't mold your skull, you're dead.
You're
like,
dead. Immediately.
It sucks. Yeah. And actually, now that you mention it, there's more cheese in Dark Souls by a mile. Like I don't cheese in that game, but in Bloodborne, but in Dark Souls 1, at the end of the game, after like posturing about I'm gonna get good with my fucking longsword, what did I do? Put on Havels and fucking tanked Great Lord Nito to death. Who gives a shit? He's dead. No one else cared. And it's like I could just do that. It wasn't skill. I just slapped this shit on. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I couldn't even or I was at the slowest roll possible, and it didn't matter. Beautiful.
But I mean, you did have to go get his armor. I don't know where it is exactly.
Exactly. I can't remember. I feel like it's not that hard to get, but maybe it is.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Still, it requires some exploration, probably.
Yeah. I guess I feel like I earned Bloodborne all the way through. Like, I feel like I earned my playthrough.
Right.
As opposed to Souls, which I cheesed a couple times. Not often. But like Souls 2, there's a guy who will throw himself off a cliff if you dodge perfectly this way off of like platform. And I did it literally just to get the game rolling because I was having such a rough start.
Okay.
And I was like, fuck it, let's just go. And then we did. Oh, man.
Yeah, Dark Souls 2 is its own beast, but yeah.
True.
That I won't comment on because I haven't played it.
Fair. I don't blame you.
I played like 4 bosses or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a hard game to talk about, but
yeah, that's.
I really liked my intro to it after I broke in. After I reclaimed my playthrough, I was having fun again. But yeah. But 3 and 1 just kind of work out the gate, and so is Bloodborne. By the way, just saying.
Yes.
Oh, well, actually, okay. 1 is pretty fucking cruel, but we're not going to talk about that because that's outside the scope. Shit, I feel like I need a closing like punch, but I don't have one. You look at me. You are looking. No one else can see this, so this is a secret lore tip. He looks like he needs food like right now. I can see his stomach in pain.
Actually. I've had cupcakes for breakfast. That was it.
Shit. Yo, I got apple pie in the fridge. That's what's up next.
Oh.
What a day.
But yeah, unfortunately, we ended last time with what I started with today. Sort of the game being a sum of its parts, or like greater than the sum of its parts,
That's true. Because I do think, so I don't want to overtalk, but I do think it's a mystery still, and I have to lay out all my thoughts in an essay or a script or whatever.
Yeah.
Before I like figure out, because like I don't know.
Have you written the video yet or no?
No, I literally, as soon as the month turns over, it'll be like I'll take 5 to 8 days to write it. Okay. Only because this is the first video I'm doing in a full month instead of in 2 weeks. So right. God, it's been so long. It's been since Diablo since I did that, so I'm not an asshole anymore. Whatever, that ended up aging well because the new phone game is a fucking abysmal piece of shit.
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, nice. But I still think it's a mystery why Bloodborne is like why I hold it in such high regard, and I feel like after we've talked about this twice now, there's so much to talk about. It incites so much conversation and like sharing of experiences in a way. I don't want to tell you about how I fought Sif in Dark Souls 1 because I don't care, but I do care about Bloodborne, and I don't. What is it? Is it every single thing? Yes. I play the music to Bloodborne in my D&D boss encounters when I DM. Like
really?
It's because it's that fucking good. Like Cleric Beast, Bloodstarved Beast. Oh yes. Yeah. Amygdala sometimes. Anyway.
It's just epic. I don't know. It's ineffable.
It's just like the Lovecraftian entities in the game.
We can't know. Our human brains are not wired to understand why it's good, but
that's the takeaway.
It just is. I don't know. For me, I just love killing stuff in it. That's a morbid statement, but it just feels good to play in the moment more than the other games. And so that is why it just sticks with me. And that's kind of like my reason for liking the games that I do in general.
That's actually a really great point. Because the Souls games don't do that broadly as until Sekiro and Bloodborne specifically. That's
maybe Dark Souls 3 arguably, but that game just pisses me off more than anything. So
because the old version of like getting a sweet kill animation was getting a backstab, which is not a cool animation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It felt cool maybe a couple times, but then it's just like boom,
and then
I put a dagger.
Pull them off.
Yeah. So like whatever. But no, Sekiro and Bloodborne elevated that shit. I think they knew. It's like, like this feels fucking awesome. Let's do it.
And I think, I don't know where FromSoft goes from where they've left off with Elden Ring and Sekiro. Hopefully they can diversify and just make some like, I don't know. I want them to make stuff like in the vein of Bloodborne and Sekiro, where it's off the beaten path of the Dark Souls and Demon Souls DNA.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's sort of like they're at the end of their
Yeah.
they've reached the logical conclusion of where that should go, I think. And you'll see, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe you won't,
Well,
but
I think they know that too, right? Like the fact that they did Elden Ring like as it is, like right after Sekiro or whatever. Because like, oh man, that's probably going to be a major point of the video. Just the fact that Demons to 3 is, I mean, aside from some quirks, largely the same experience. And 2 is a bit weird too, and we're not going to talk about it. But like, you know, every facet of that gameplay feels like it's been like, okay, like if we're whatever trying to meet the designer's vision or whatever, I feel like they got it all the way through, and the only way to forward is to experiment. And that's, I mean, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Elden Ring I cannot wait to play, mostly because it'll be playable and easy, I hope. to a point, not super easy, but was it harder than Sekiro for you?
Yes, but no.
Fuck.
Like
Okay.
it is, but it isn't. There are just ways to make it easy, basically. You'll see. Yeah, I don't want to spoil, but
God damn it.
you'll see.
Time to follow a build online, folks. Anyway.
Well, like I said, I might have said last time, Elden Ring lets you change your build almost any time you want. So,
oh my god, without expending too many resources?
Yeah.
Oh, my heart is full.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you, Misaki. Wait, I don't have to look up a guide until late when I get my ass
Exactly
kicked. God, that's beautiful. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I know. Lots of quality of life stuff. But yeah, so Bloodborne is the best.
Bloodborne the best time. If you fucking question me, I'll cap you in the head. Ha.
Exactly.
God. Oh my god. No, this ending sucks. The ending we did before was so incredible.
I know. We don't. Fuck. I don't got any pithy to say. I don't know.
I'm not gonna pithy. Wait. Okay. Fine. I'll go. I'll try my best. So the value of Bloodborne, if I can try to channel any of my past energy, the belief, the love I have for this game, is it's a series, or sorry, it is an experience that allows you to play it, rewards you for deepening your understanding with it, allows you to integrate yourself and become one, to inject yourself with the blood of the old gods or whatever the fuck. You will feel the game inside you in every aspect, from gameplay to narrative, etc. As Zach says, it is a game that is penultimately the sum of its parts. The value is found there. It is not to be named, it is to be understood.
God damn.
Got him. I did it. No, I did. That was really rocky until I stuck the landing. Holy fuck.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you
God.
for that.
Ugh.
See, this is why you're a good writer, and this
No,
is why
man.
you can write
I'm just a
video
charlatan.
every 2 weeks, and I take a year.
I'm literally just a spoken word charlatan. I just talk.
That's all rhetoric is, buddy.
Yeah, you're right. God damn it. Is it sophist or sophist? It's sophistry, isn't it? That's probably
I
better.
say sophistry, but
That's right. That's what I
sophist,
said.
yeah. Like sophomore.
sophist-
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't want to say soph.
Yeah, it just sounds like soap almost.
It makes me sound like a dumbass,
Yeah.
like an
Sophistry.
idiot.
Sophistry and illusion.
Yeah, it's just sophistry. Yeah.
But yeah. Well, thank you, Kbash, for
Absolutely.
joining me again.
As always, for the first time.
Yeah.
And, technically, and I will send you the audio file this time,
Yeah.
and
no
not
worries.
lose it to the ether.
Right. This turned out good. I'm glad we talked again. And I was afraid like we would just be sitting here twiddling our thumbs, but no,
Hell
it was
no.
good. But yeah, and then maybe Bayonetta in a couple months, 3 or 4 months. Yeah.
Praying
Beautiful.
they actually drop the fucking date so I can play Bayonetta.
You can time it just right. Yeah.
Always.
Next time, for those who want to listen, I will be talking about SimCity 3000 with Jared the Playing Field. I've been playing it. I have thoughts.
And there will be no schlafter. It will be a very serious time. So don't fucking
socioeconomic issues and
it will actually I can guarantee it'll be substantive.
hopefully.
Whatever.
But
You do incisive critique when you do. You haven't done it for a little bit, but I get that. Life's hard.
Yeah. It's coming. I got it done basically. So
Nice.
yeah. All right. Well, everyone, have a good rest of your lives.
That's right. Live in the moment. I don't fucking know. I ended that with like a Twooey reference. That's not even, it's like a real life lesson. What the fuck? Oh man.